So Lebon, Lupon, amoon na fi daan na am. There was a story, so it was said. It happened there, it happened here. That's how you would translate it into English. Lebon Lupon amoon na fi daan na am. Once upon a time, one day, there was Buki the hyena, and Buki is the Wolof term for hyena. Buki, a character. And his friend and relative, the hare, the rabbit. Because they are indeed relatives. And all of a sudden, the hare started to explain, to tell a story, an adventure that he had to Buki. He said, "Uncle," and usually the hare, would call hyena uncle. And the hyena said, "What?" And the hare started telling him about how he was walking in the bush, and all of a sudden, how he came next to a big baobab tree, huge trees that you find in Senegal. If you travel to Senegal, take advantage of your stay there to look at the numerous, countless numbers of baobab trees that you will see when you go from city to city. Big, beautiful trees. And Hare told Buki that as he saw this big baobab tree, he started to hear voices inside. And he came close and he put his ear onto the baobab tree. And as he did that, he heard voices of mouths moving, eating something. He's like, "This is interesting. It does look like some people are eating over there." And all of a sudden, I don't know how he came up with the idea, but Hare said, "Guy ubil." Guy in Wolof means baobab. Ubil means open. Therefore, baobab, please open. Guy ubil. The moment Hare said that, a door opened from the front of the baobab tree. And when Hare looked at what was happening there, he saw a family of visibly impaired individuals sitting calmly and eating their meals, their lunch, and having a good time. And Hare, the rabbit, stepped in. And after he stepped in, he said, "Gui tejal." Baobab, please close yourself. So therefore, the door, close yourself. And that opening on the front of the baobab closed. The moment he said that, the moment Hare said, "Gui tejal," baobab, please close, the eldest person, the oldest person, the elder was the oldest person of the family, said, "Everybody, please stop eating. Everybody, please remain silent." And everybody remained silent. And the elder said, "I have the impression that there is a stranger among us. Give me a minute just to figure it out." And nothing happened. And he said, "Okay, well, it does look like nothing happened. Maybe it was just a figment of my imagination. Let's keep eating." And they kept having their lunch and eating. By that time, Luck has calmly come and found a space in front of that big bowl from which everybody was eating. And was just eating like everybody else. And all of a sudden, the elder said, "Everybody stop. I think that we have a stranger here." And when he said that, everybody stopped. Smart as he was, Luck also stopped, did not keep eating. He just did like everybody else did. A few moments later, the elder gave the signal. He said to everybody, "Well, I was wrong. It's just us. Let's keep eating." So Luck continued to eat. And he did just like the visibly impaired individuals did. And at the end of the lunch, when everybody stopped eating, he stopped eating, he got up, and he came next to the entrance from which he had gotten into the space and said, "Gui ubil, baobab, please open." And the door opened and he left. So when he went, and he told Buki, his uncle, about what happened. And Buki was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to really get to that place and have the opportunity to eat lunch just like you did." And Luck told him, "Well, uncle, you can do the same thing. But please, when you go there, when the elder gives a signal or tells the other individuals that they are supposed to stop, when he commands them to stop, please, uncle, make sure that you stop." And Buki told him, "Of course I will. Don't worry about that." But you know Buki, how he is. He's greedy. In fact, Buki was so impatient that when his nephew was explaining to him and giving him advice as to what he was supposed to do when he got into the baobab tree, the only thing he was imagining was eating and satisfying himself with the food. He wasn't really caring about all those wonderful advices that his nephew, Luck, the rabbit, was giving him. So the next day, at noon, time for lunch, Buki was in front of that baobab tree. So Buki came in, didn't even take the time to really listen and hear the voices or the sounds of people eating. He just came into the door and said, "Gui ubil, baobab, open please." And the baobab store opened. Buki went in. At least he remembered to say, "Gui tejal, baobab closed." So the baobab tree closed. And the same thing happened, So he just went in. But something that was different was Buki came in and just sat around the ball. He found a place where he could sit next to the visibly impaired individuals and started to eat. But he, as you know Buki, he's gluttonous. When Buki eats, you can hear him from a mile. The elder said, "Everybody, please stop. I swear that there is a stranger amongst us." Everybody else but Buki stopped eating. So all the visibly impaired individuals could hear Buki eating. They each had a stick not far from where they were sitting. So each visibly impaired individual grabbed their own stick. And they knew, for some reason, where Buki or the stranger was sitting. Well, now, I'm not advocating violence, but I'm just explaining what happened in that tree, in that baobab tree. They started to hit Buki. Different places. The head, the shoulders, the back. Buki rushed, trying to get out. So he came to the near the entrance and he said, Gui, Ubil, baobab, open. And the baobab's, space opened and Buki rushed out. But he's impatient. Not realizing that he actually had not totally gotten out of the tree, Buki said, accidentally, Gui, Tajal, baobab, close. At that time, he was just midway. He wasn't completely out. And the baobab started to squeeze him right from the middle, at the middle, when his body was just like at the middle of this, getting out or being out. So around his waist. So that made Buki's predicament worse because all the visibly impaired individuals from within the tree had the opportunity to take their sticks and start to beat him on his, derriere. When they found that he was really tired and exhausted and couldn't beat him anymore, they threw him out. Luckily, he didn't die. Luckily, he wasn't dead. But he was really severely beaten. But I remember when we were young, we would do embellish it. We would embellish the tale, you know, and then we'd kind of imagine what happened next. Well, did he die, or was he still alive, or what happened next when he told when Buki found his nephew Luck? Did was he mad at Luck? Did he think that Luck gave him like wrong information or information that was incomplete? Or what happened next? So we would just try to embellish the story sometime by adding a few anecdotes and hypotheses.